With a powerful voice and a compassionate heart, Payton Riley has been captivating audiences with her pristine vocals since the tender age of 9. A natural performer, Payton's passion for music shines through every note she sings, and her dedication to honing her songwriting talents keeps her at the forefront of the Texas country music scene. When not in the studio, you can find Payton gracing stages across Texas and beyond, sharing her unique sound and connecting with fans. And guys, we are super excited to have Payton Riley on the Boston Chris podcast for the very first time ever. Let's get into it.
It's time to jive. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. It's time to jive. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. Until we all lose connection.
Hey, y'all, this is Haley Wright, and I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to the Boston Chris Show.
Hey, y'all, another amazing episode of the Boston Chris podcast, and we have an up-and-coming amazing singer-songwriter, Payton Riley, from the state of Texas, and I've known about Payton for a couple of years, and so when I got back into podcasting, I had this list of folks that I wanted to chat with, and you were on my initial list, so I was really excited when you and I got together to do this, because girl, I think you're going to be something. And I really wanted to chat with you early on to kind of get a base of who you are and what you're about.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. And that's crazy that I was on your list.
Yeah, but
That's,
we
that's
took about a 4-year break from this. And so over the course of that 4-year break, I was kind of keeping almost like an incognito wish list if I ever did decide to come back. And obviously, just by keeping that list, obviously, I'm going to come back if I'm keeping the list, right? Yeah. But Payton did send in a song for us to include. We're really excited about that. You guys will get to see what she's about if you don't know who she is yet. You will by the end of the episode. The song's called Kiss Me Cowboy. What's the song about?
So, me and my good friend wrote this song at the beginning of the year. And I write songs a couple of different ways, but one of the ways is I write down a list of titles. And so I took that idea to my good friend, and we were looking through all my song titles, and she's like, let's use this title, Kiss Me Cowboy. And I wanted to kind of write this song about how she's out dancing because I love to go dancing with my friends, like two-stepping. So I feel like that would be super fun to incorporate into the song. And it's about this girl who she hasn't really had been in a relationship in a while, and so she hasn't really gone out of the house or anything. So this is her first night coming out, and she wants to start dancing with this boy. And while she's dancing, she's like, "Oh, I really like you," and she's like, "So kiss me, cowboy." It's a little honky tonk song. I usually don't write that type of music, but it was definitely a day where I was like, today we need to write a honky tonk song.
You know, it's so funny because obviously the elephant question in the room is going to be Peyton's age, and I'll get into that in a minute. But like your songs are so adult; they have adult relevance, and talking about kissing a cowboy. How old are you, first of all, so we can let
I'm
people know?
16.
16. That's right. So you've been writing a long time, though, right? Like you're a veteran at this.
I mean, I haven't been writing as long as most people, but I've been writing songs since I was 9.
And so, like, over just before we play the song, I just want to 9 years old, and you've evolved into a 16-year-old that is writing about adult themes. Not in a bad way at all, but like you're writing about adult things. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
So, how'd that happen?
I feel like in the music business, there is a couple of young artists, but
Yeah.
there's not too much of us. So a lot of the musicians I'm friends with, they're older. So I feel like I'm young, but I feel like I act way older and I think way older. So I feel like that's where it comes from. But I also write songs with a bunch of older people. So I've heard their stories. And whenever you go in and songwrite, before you do it, like you pick the topic, but you have to explain like where you want it to go and how it relates to your life. So you hear all these stories about people's lives and all that they've gone through. And so you have all this knowledge and not wisdom, but you just know a lot more stuff than what other people your age know. And so I feel like I've been able to take that and put it into my songs just so I don't sound so young and so I can have music that doesn't just portray to younger people,
Yeah.
it goes to older people too.
So essentially, you're using your perceptiveness to be more relevant to an older crowd, essentially.
Yes, sir.
I love that. I love that, man. We're excited to show you guys the song. It's called Kiss Me Cowboy by Payton Riley right here on the Boston Chris podcast. Y'all check it out.
I hope he don't know it's been a while since somebody swept me off this sawdust floor. Now he's got me wanting more. So kiss me, cowboy, just for tonight. Put your hand in my back pocket and hold me tight. Don't play it cool, boy. I can see it in your eyes. So quit acting shy and kiss me, cowboy. Just play every song I write, like 2 dozen roses in summer of '69. Seems like the kind of night that can go wrong. Take my hand, let's dance to this happy song. So kiss me, cowboy, just for tonight. Put your hand in my back pocket and hold me tight. Don't play it cool, boy. I can see it in your eyes. So quit acting shy and kiss me, cowboy. So, if y'all know this song, just a little, help me sing this last part. So kiss me, cowboy, just for tonight. Put your hand in my back pocket and hold me tight. Don't play it cool, boy. I can see it in your eyes. So quit acting shy and kiss me, cowboy. And kiss me, cowboy. Help me with this last part. And kiss me, cowboy.
All right, so we are back, and obviously we always ask a icebreaker question on this show, and this is not, she won't be able to answer this like most of our guests, but what are your favorite drinks right now, Pete?
Yeah, definitely would not be able to answer it like most people. Right now I'm on a sweet tea kick.
Okay.
Yeah. my mom thinks that's very odd, but it's just like really, really good. But I'm very picky about it. It has to be from like certain places. Like Chicken Express has some really good
Yeah.
sweet tea, and so does Cane's Chicken. They're like really, really good. But just restaurant sweet tea does not hit the same. So I have to get from there. And then I go on and off between Coke and Dr. Pepper. But right now, probably my favorite is Coke.
Wow.
But it switches all the time.
So the first part of that answer is very Texas, and the second part is going to get people upset with her in Texas, picking Coke over Dr. Pepper. Yeah, that it's so funny how controversial that question can become. Just because a lot of people listen from Texas. So yeah, but sweet tea, I agree. I'm not a tea drinker, but I know from my wife, who's a very big unsweet tea, aficionado, that it can be really different from place to place.
Yeah.
You know?
Unsweet tea. I feel like unsweet tea tastes the same. I feel like it's water, just like an odd tasting water.
Yeah, maybe. But like when you're diabetic, you have to drink something.
Oh, true.
You'll hopefully never get there. Let's talk about usually I have an early section in this podcast where we talk about the early years, but you're kind of already in your early years or still in your early years. But you were raised in Montgomery, Texas, right?
Yes, sir.
So first of all, where is that, and what's it like kind of growing up in that part of the country?
So Montgomery, Texas is about an hour north of Houston, Texas.
Okay.
So I'm not too terribly far from Houston. But where I live at, it really just depends. Like if you drive about 20 minutes down the road, that's where the really, really country people are.
Yeah.
And then, where I'm at, we're kind of like the middle ground. And then if you drive like 20 minutes the other way, that's more city kind
Yeah.
of. There's still country, but not as country. But we're kind of like in the middle area. We live on some lands. Like where we live at, it's very like spacious. It's not like where houses are like right up on each other. But it's a very, very nice area. I've lived here pretty much my whole entire life in this house. I lived in two different houses whenever I was little, but now we're just been in this one for a long time. But yeah, it's definitely where I live at. I feel like people have a certain version of what Texas is. Like a lot of people think that we ride horses to school and we all have like deep, deep country accents, but you find a lot more of that if you go 20 minutes that way.
It's funny how that works, isn't it? Especially around the cities, because Texas can be very urbanized. There's some very urbanated areas in Texas. Urbanated, is that a word? I don't even know, but it is now. It is now urbanized. Let's go with urbanized. But I think that's interesting that you're kind of living both of those worlds kind of simultaneously where you're at. You get the kind of off the beaten path experience, but at the same time, you can kind of see what people are dealing with on the other side of the coin. You talked about your life experiences or life perspectives of other people. Does that help with your writing, you think, being able to be in that environment?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because as I said earlier, whenever you're writing songs, you're hearing about all different people's like point of views and all their different stories. But also just being around older people, you can learn a lot from them, especially because I'm younger. A lot of the older artists that I hang around are just being like playing out in bars. There's typically older people. They love to just tell me stories in general and just give me advice about how to go on with life and just never stop chasing your dreams, stuff like that. And so I've taken a lot of advice that they've taken me and I've applied that to songs or just how I live my life. But also my family, they are very, very big like storytellers about their childhood, and they have some crazy, crazy stories. Because my grandpa, he was one of the people that would ride his horse to school. Like that's the kind of he was one of those people. And so he has some pretty funny stories. So I get a lot of interesting stuff to put in my songs from all of that too. But I take it from all different places. I'm also, this is like such a nerdy thing, but I'm like a really, really big reader, like book reader.
Yeah.
And I did not used to be that way at all. Like my mom and dad were very worried for me because for the longest time you would have to like force me to read a book. But I found like a really, really good series, and then I got like into reading books. And I feel like just doing that, I read a lot of fictional books, so it just like broadens your imagination.
Mhm.
And also just like with authors writing from all different points of views, it helps you do that in writing songs too. So I take a lot of that and apply it to
Yeah,
write songs.
it deepens your vocabulary too, right? I mean, let's be honest. Are you an only child?
Oh no, I have a sister, a younger
Okay,
sister.
okay. Because I know that, like, I'm an only child. They say that only child, like, only the only childs of a family are usually bookworms. So that's why I asked. Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm the oldest.
Yeah, there you go. So I mean, I love the fact that you're reading books, and yeah, that can help with your vernacular and especially with phrasing in songs, right? Like where
Oh,
you're
100%.
you're supposed to have a certain amount of syllables in a line and a certain way to flow it and all of that. It's just a smart thing to do. Not to
Oh, yeah.
mention that the plots in books, especially fictional ones, are going to give you ideas for
Oh,
stories.
100%.
And then you don't have to tell people where you got it from because like
True.
if it's an obscure book, how are they gonna know, right?
I know. Yep. Yep.
I love that. So a lot of times we talk about somebody's childhood as part of the show, but you are living your childhood still right now. You are so busy. I see that you're doing touring, you're writing a lot, your team and yourself. You have new videos coming out. All of this stuff is happening for you. So how do you make sure, or how do your parents make sure that you still live a childhood while dealing with this music business as well?
I mean, it's definitely a challenge. I used to go to in-person school, but this year for my sophomore year of high school, I decided to go online, which I have a love-hate relationship with that, but
Yeah.
I have to make sacrifices for things you loved. And in freshman year, I missed a lot of school. And so it was just a sacrifice that I had to make. And so definitely with doing that, that has made it a lot easier with doing school and making time to do things that I actually get to do, because whenever I was in school, I would be at school until 8 to around 4, and then I would have sports after that. So I wasn't done until around 6. And then we're rushing home, getting ready for a voice lesson, guitar lesson, show, recording, songwriting, podcast, everything. So now it definitely gives me like a lot more time, especially with my school, because it's not like scheduled. Like I can just do it whenever I want. Like I just went on tour to the UK and I took 2 weeks off where I didn't have to do school. Of course, I'm playing catch up now, but
Right.
I mean, it's okay. It's good that I'm able to do that and not like stressing about getting all my work done. And it's not like I get like a 0 in the grade book or I get anything like deducted against me. So that has been really great. But my parents, how they have kind of made sure I still have a childhood is make sure that I'm still like involved in stuff and that I'm like still like reaching out to friends and hanging out with them. So at least every month we try to have like a Saturday open where I can go hang out with friends and just have fun with them, which just with doing like the summer coming up, I'll be able to do that like way more because everybody will be free. But another thing that I do is I'm actually a lifeguard.
There you go.
Over the summer. Yep, I'm a lifeguard. This is my second year being a lifeguard, so that helps with making friends a lot, and just being able to hang out with people. So that has been really great. So just them pushing me to do that other stuff just besides doing music has been
Yeah.
great.
And yeah, I asked that question because I've talked to a lot of younger artists like yourself over the years of interviewing, and I feel like the sacrifices that you're talking about are usually one of three, right? Or usually it could be all three even, and that's either educational, social, and recreational, right? Like those are the three things that you're really gonna lose by being an artist. And so it sounds like you have a firm grasp on that. Your parents are doing a great job, so that's good.
Yes.
Love to see that. So let's talk a little bit about musical memories. Your first musical memories. It'd probably be easier for you to remember this because it was not that long ago. Whereas somebody who's 80 would be like, "Golly, really?" Like, what's the first thing you can remember music related?
I mean, as far as I can remember, I've always just gone around the house singing, or it's what I thought was singing. My parents probably did not think the same thing. But um, I would just go around the house singing all the time, and I think my parents wanted it to sound a little bit better, so they asked me if I wanted to start taking voice lessons, and I was like, "Oh heck yes, I want to do that." And so they put me in voice lessons, and I think the first show I did was I think I was probably like about to turn 8, and I was so nervous. There was like probably at least like 70 or 80 people
Wow.
there. That's a lot for
Yeah,
an almost
absolutely.
8-year-old to do, and I'm pretty sure I was singing a Moana song, which is crazy. But yeah, I was so nervous, and it was it's crazy that I still remember that. But yeah, that's probably like the first one that I can remember. I don't think there was anything else before that.
What do voice lessons look like for you? So you've been taking them since an early age. Are you still taking them now?
Oh yes, sir, I am. Um, I mean, it really just depends on which voice coach I'm with. So like starting off, it was very repetitive. Like you would just practice, go in there every single week and practice your song for the recital. It was you would just practice that one song every single week until you would have your recital. But when I moved to a different music teacher, then it was working more on specific songs that I wanted to learn. And then once I got that song down, we would move on to the next one. And then I started working on original songs that I would write. And my voice coach in the very beginning, she's the one who kind of got my actual music career started with like songwriting and playing an instrument and like booking gigs. She's kind of the one that pushed me to start doing that. And so she was the one who got me into songwriting. And so we would work on melodies for my songs.
Wow.
And then I was a theater kid whenever I was younger. So we'd work on my musicals. Like I would have like a lot of singing parts. So we'd work on that. And then now I have the voice coach that I work with now. We mostly work on like how I perform, like my eye contact and everything, and all my talking points, like where I'm going to talk at before my songs, and then like the presentation of everything, like the whole entire show. That's what we mostly work on now. Still, like the vocal stuff, so we go through all my songs, and he critiques like things that I do, but it's definitely more like a full circle of things, everything that goes into a performance.
I think it's incredible that you're still at it. I mean, that's half your life that you've been taking voice lessons. I mean,
I know.
would you honestly, would you recommend that to other artists?
Doing voice lessons?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. It has helped me grow so much, and just with this music business, there's constantly things to learn. Nobody knows everything. Like
Yeah.
absolutely nobody knows everything. So there's always things to learn. Even the pros, they still have voice coaches. Like even the
Absolutely.
best of the best have voice coaches. So I highly recommend it, especially when you're going through a slump and you can't figure out like what you're doing wrong. That's like really helpful because it's happened a lot of times to me. But definitely be very consistent in
Yeah.
going to your voice coach.
Yeah, and I think that's the key, really. I mean, they say it all the time: consistency is the key, and they're saying that for a reason. It's usually pretty true. I caught on something you said about musical theater that I want to talk to you about. This is we're off the outline now. We're off the rails stream or podcast. We're off the rails. First, in order for me to throw context on this next question, though, you mentioned earlier with the Kiss Me Cowboy song that was more honky tonk than you're used to, right? So
Yeah.
how would you self-describe yourself as an artist? If you had to put a label on yourself, genre-wise, what would it be?
I mean, I can't really describe myself as being in a certain genre because I've done every single genre. I've done Christian music. That's what I started off doing. I grew up going to a private Christian school, and so that's what I grew up doing. And then, like my whole entire family, we always listened to country music. So as I got older, that's what I started doing, and then started going more into country pop, and then now I'm kind of more into country rock. I love listening to rock music. It's what I listen to all the time, and I take a lot of influence from rock music. And so I really like that though, because I feel like I can play different songs for all different types of people that listen to different things. So I'm not just for people that listen to country music or just for people that listen to Christian music. Like I do it all. So I mean, it's really hard to tell. Right now I'm doing a lot more country rock music. So for now, that's more kind of what I'm doing. So I would say I'm more country rock, but it changes mostly every single day.
Yeah,
Like some
yeah.
days I'm like, I'm gonna write a sad emo ballad, and then tomorrow I'm gonna write a honky tonk song. So it really just depends. But right now I'm more country
Well,
rock.
that's a great baseline to be at. And I want to mention that every single genre you just mentioned has a mainstream role in today's radio, right? So every
That's
single
it.
one of those. The only one that doesn't is musical theater. It does not have a radio, mainstream radio, right? So a lot of times I'll talk to an artist that had a really early background in musical theater, and they had a hard time breaking some habits that you pick up by singing that and acting that and doing all that. Did you feel like there was a struggle with that, going from a musical theater background and then trying to write music in a more mainstream genre style?
I don't think it was really a struggle for me. I feel like the only part that might have been a struggle is maybe like de-countrynizing my voice,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
whenever I sing, I kind of have a twang in it, and in theater music, it's not really like that.
yeah.
Um, but I mean, I did it when I was like way younger. I think it was like ages 8 to 12, maybe. It might have been even earlier than that that I stopped doing that. It was like right before COVID hit. Like
Okay.
right then, I was supposed to be in a play, and then COVID shut it all down, and I just never went back to doing it. I started doing more music stuff, but I think that was like something that me and my voice coach had to work on a lot, like detwanking some of my words and the way that I say vowels. But
Yeah.
I feel like the genre switching, like that really wasn't a problem for me. But I think it was just like the detwanging myself.
So when you're writing, let's talk writing a little bit too. When you're writing, since we're talking about genres, um, I love the fact that one of your styles of writing is to take a list of titles and then write a story around it, essentially. And a lot of famous songwriters do it that way. You may not know that, but it's true. A lot of
Mhm.
famous songwriters do that. They'll take a title, then they'll make music or a story around it, then they'll add the melody, and there they have the song. A lot of hit songs were written that way. My question to you is, more musically, when you are writing a song, do you know beforehand what genre the song is? Do you know as you're writing it? Do you pick up the feel of the song and the style of the song as you're writing it, or is that more of a studio thing?
um, it definitely really just depends. Like sometimes a song can be completely written and already done and have all this musical stuff done to it, but then whenever you take it into the studio, they play something on the guitar and you're like, oh, that sounds really good. What if we add like some more edge to that? And then because a lot of my songs, I feel like they're like medium tempo, so they can go either way.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I have a pretty edgy, sassy voice. So, but I can also be like super sweet whenever I sing. So it sometimes it could be in the studio. I've had it where I've written songs like halfway through, and I realized I don't really like the melody that much, and I was writing more kind of like a poppy song, and I was like, oh, I'm not really feeling like this goes with the words, so I switch it up. But it just depends. Like it's different every single time for a song. It just really depends.
Essentially, the song leads the way, and
Yes.
wherever it takes you is where it takes you, and essentially, you're not letting anything get in the way of that, right?
Oh yeah, no.
I love that.
I
Very
just
good
wanna
stuff.
do what I want.
So I love you talking about medium tempo. That's not something you hear. Something you don't hear that from a 16-year-old. That is crazy that you are that well in tune with your own music that you know that you're medium tempo most of the time. Is that organic for you? It just comes out that way, or is it more
um
streamlined?
It definitely comes out more medium tempo, and then once I finish the song, that's when I really decide what I want it to be at. But by doing medium tempo, it slows everything down, so I can really figure out the melody and the phrasing of everything. Because it's really hard if you start singing the song and it's like really really fast. You're trying to like get the wording right, so it's better if you figure everything out kind of like in the middle, like not too slow but not too fast, and then you can like change it
Mhm.
afterwards.
Oh,
songs. I write it one way and I sing it one way, and then whenever I get home and I actually start learning it, it changes a lot.
yeah, and that happens a lot too. Like some of the most famous songs by Vince Gill started out as a up tempo song and turned into a ballad. Like a lot of people don't know that. I didn't know that until I interviewed Vince Gill. So just it's cool stories like that you just don't know the origin of a song and where it went. Like he was on the way to the studio one day to record the song. I forget which one it was. It's one of his number one hits. And yeah, he changed it like walking into the studio. What if we turned this into a ballad? They had already done all the tracking and everything on the song, and
Oh no,
yeah,
dang.
hmm so cool stuff. So that song again, I can't remember. He has so many damn big songs, but like that song is out there in both up tempo and a ballad. Imagine that.
Oh,
Yeah, crazy.
awesome.
So your most viewed thing on the internet, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about this, was obviously your time on American Idol. And
Yes.
I'm not going to ask you the prototypical American Idol questions because I really don't care about that. What I want to focus on is the Fireflies. This was a solo write. And
Yeah.
I find that to be so unbelievably um, impressive at your age because that was a couple of years ago. So you were what, 14 at that time?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And Fireflies was a completely solo write, right?
Yes, sir.
And so I understand at that time you were solo writing a lot more than co-writing.
Yeah, definitely during those couple months whenever I wrote that song, I was writing a lot more songs by myself. Um, it really just depends. I like to write songs with other people too, but during that time, I was writing a lot of songs by myself, and I had to rewrite that song several times until I got the full thing. But the chorus, to write the chorus for that song, it maybe took me like 10 minutes, but it was the rest of the song that took a while. I had to keep rewriting. Um, but I remember I had just gone through a breakup with my boyfriend. We had been together for a year and a half, and he was my best friend. We had known each other since the first grade. Sisters are best friends, our moms are best friends, and our dads are best friends.
Wow.
Still to this day, our moms talk almost every single day on the phone. Our dads just went on a fishing trip like 2 weekends ago,
Wow.
and our sisters are super close. So not only did I like lose my boyfriend, but I lost my best friend, like someone who had just always been there. And it was like really kind of awkward. Like he knew everything about me, not just because we had been dating, but we just known each other for so long. And so he had just always been the person that had always been there for me, and I could talk to him about anything. And so not having him in my life was really hard. So I remember during that time, I wanted to write a song to help kind of heal through that process, because I believe that music heals people in so many amazing ways and can really just change their life. And so I wanted to sit down and write a song. And I remember I was in my music room, sitting right over there in the corner, and I had written the chorus for this song. And I think we were getting ready for a show, and I ran into my mom's bathroom, and I was like, "Listen to this." And I had played, so I just had a verse and a chorus. And she's like, "I don't really like that verse, but that chorus is like really good, Peyton, like for my age." It was a pretty good chorus for my age. And she was like, "You need to keep working on that." And so I think I was like trying to force it. And so it was just not coming. So that's why it took me a couple times, like rewrites, to get it complete right. But I had finished the song, and then I don't know if it was like a couple months or a couple weeks later, American Idol reached out to me and said, "We've been watching you on a couple of the social media platforms, and we were wondering if you wanted to be on American Idol." And I was like, "Really?" And because I got an Instagram message, and you get like scams all
Yep.
the time. I wasn't really like taking it seriously. I was like, "Okay, whatever." And then they started emailing me, and they were like, "Well, let us know what day you want to audition." And so before you actually get to the judges, you have to go through several auditions to get in. So I had to do all those. And so I had one audition, and I made it through the first round. And then I think I had 2 more after that. And I had to perform 3 songs all 3 times. And then they were like, it was like a bunch of people on this Zoom call, and they were like, "Hey, and you're going to sing in front of Katy Perry, Luke Bryan, and Lionel Richie." And me and my mom were trying so hard not to freak out. And so then we finally got my date for when I was gonna go perform in front of the judges. And so we went to Nashville, Tennessee for my audition. And it was an amazing experience. Definitely one that I will never forget. It's definitely not what you see on TV
Nope.
at all. At all. Like, people would be shocked if they actually knew all the stuff that, because it's like months of paperwork that you're filling out and all this information before you even get there. And then when you get there, it's like nothing what you expect. There's cameras everywhere, people running around. You're there from I had to wake up at like 4:45, and then we had to be in the lobby at like 6.
Wow.
And then we were there until like 8 at night, and then the next day you had to do it all over again. And so it's definitely not what you expect, but I met a lot of amazing people. There are definitely some that I do still keep in contact with, and they're absolutely killing it in the music industry. But yeah, it was definitely an amazing experience, and I'm glad that I got to sing that song because it's one that's really important to me. And my goal in life, just for my career, is not to be making millions and millions of dollars and playing in front of thousands and thousands of people. I mean, I would love to be able to do that, but I want to write music that helps people get through whatever hard time they're going through in their life. Because as I said earlier, I think music moves people in so many amazing ways. And just like that song being on national television, like, I kind of saw my dreams coming true, because so many young girls and boys were DMing me and emailing me and messaging me and just saying how much that song helped them get through their breakup. And so whenever I'm going through the ups and downs of this music business, I always remember that, because that keeps me going and helps me remember why I'm doing this.
Well, the first thing I want to tell you as a fan of yours is how incredibly brave it was to share that particular song on that platform, knowing how new it was and how raw it still was to you.
Yeah.
Man, what a choice. And obviously you were emotional during the song and listening to the judges and things, but man, what a choice. And everything you said about sharing your story and trying to help people with your gift, your art, is obvious, because you don't choose that song and that kind of platform unless you're wanting to help others with the song, because it ain't about you. You're still raw. You're still feeling all of those feelings. And typically when a song like that is written, the songwriter will put it away for a little while until the edges of the song aren't quite as raw when you try to perform it. So kudos. I just wanted to say kudos to you on that. Good stuff. Let's see, where am I at? We're pretty close to getting to the commercial here, but they did ask you on American Idol to come back in, what was it, 3 years?
They wanted me to come back whenever I was 18, so that's about a year and a half from now. I turned 17 in a couple of months, so.
Are you going to?
I don't really know. It just depends on what point where I'm at in my career. It's definitely something that I've considered, and a lot of people have asked me that question, but it's still like very unknown. I might or I might not, but it totally just depends on where I'm at in my career. If I think that I need to go back on the show or feel like led to, then I will, because I don't really have anything to lose by trying out again. But we'll just see.
Texas has such a good infrastructure for artists anyway. So,
Yeah.
it's all happening here with charting and things like that. And speaking of charting, you've had several of your singles chart in Texas.
Yes.
So I am such an artist nerd, songwriting nerd, right? So when I'm chatting with somebody who's young and new and all that, and I always have to ask, and it's such an easy question to answer, but like, you see your song on that chart, it doesn't matter what number it is. It could be 92 or whatever. Then you see all the other names around you, right? All of those legendary people. That's got to be surreal, right?
Oh, it's crazy. You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This person. It's crazy, and I'm actually so blessed to be able to be working with such amazing people and just have such an amazing team, just supporting me. I definitely got told on early on in my career to just surround yourself with people that feel like family and want to lift you up. And I feel like that's another good thing that my parents have been like really, really good about, is just making kind of like my music circle like just feel like family, and making sure that everybody in it is somebody that we trust. And so that's kind of like how we've made our team. And they've just been amazing, and I would not be anywhere where I'm at without them. So I'm thankful for them so much.
It's got to be awe-inspiring, like just some of the names that are on that chart every week, man. It's just incredible. But to see
Crazy.
Payton Riley's name there, and you belong, I'm telling you, you do. Congratulations on all of that stuff. I wanted to talk a little bit more about songwriting because I find it so interesting. You being so young, I hate harping on that because you said earlier it was good for your age. I'm here to tell you, you are good for any age. Um, a couple of things. Is your mom your go-to criticism? Because you did mention taking the chorus and the verse to her and kind of running it by her, but you also said that you kind of self-criticize and you're able to make changes that way too. So
Oh yeah.
who are your biggest people that can help you kind of polish things up, including yourself?
Definitely my mom and myself. I'm very, very hard on myself. And my mom's very, very hard on me too, which has been great because she just always pushes me to be the best version of myself, which has just been amazing. I'm forever grateful to her. But I take everything to her, like before I post a video, I'm like, watch this video and see if I sound okay. And she's like, no, you sound like crap. Go redo that. I'm like, okay, I will go do that. So yeah, she's definitely one of my biggest critics, and which is good because I feel
I mean, it's
like,
important to have truth in your life,
yeah,
right?
100%. Because
Yeah,
if I were to go ask anybody else, they'd be like, "Oh, it's fine." But my
yeah,
mom, I can always count on her to tell me the truth,
yep,
and never have to worry about her like not making me look bad, but like letting me like post something that is not showing like the best way that I sound or whatever. So she always tells me the truth,
yeah.
which is
I love that. Kind of like at the beginning, you guys won't see this out there, but the light over your shoulder. I wasn't going to let that happen to you.
awesome.
I'm going to tell you the truth. But yeah. But yeah, you got to have that, man, because like there's so many artists out there that I don't think they're getting that from somebody, and there's a lot of enablers, and they got a lot of work to do, and because of the enabling, they're not even they don't even know they have work to do, and they just stay complacent because of that, and it's unfortunate for a lot of people. And then they rant and rave when they don't make it, right? And I think that's why, because you have people enabling you instead of trying to make you better.
Yeah,
Um,
I 100% agree.
yeah. So let's take a brief break. We got Payton Riley here on the show for the very first time. I'm going to take you guys over to Palmer, Texas, with my buddy Pappy Middleton, who's going to ask for some understudies for reel to reel studio work.
I'm putting it together right now, and I'd love to get it out that any student, I don't care how old you are or what, if your heart lies within this kind of domain of the sound, playing, any of that, I'm gonna start taking one day out of every couple of weeks and invite students in for a very small charge, and I will tell you whatever you want. Any question you got, I'll try to answer it.
Well, I will certainly put that out there. I'll make this a little ad for you, and we can share it
Because
everywhere.
they'll have full access to the studio, everything. I can tell them everything about how all of this started from analog into the digital world, and you'll be able to have hands on, and I'll show you why analog sounds better than digital.
Amazing. Yeah, I'll definitely cut this out. I'll make a little ad out of it, and we can share it everywhere.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Because I'd love to do it. That's my legacy, is to leave.
It's the pass it down, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all right. So we are back with Payton Riley. This is where we have some fun with Payton. We have a bunch of short segments that I think she's going to have a lot of fun with. We have to be a little more careful with these segments because she is 16. So, but the first one is called "Did You Know?" Payton. Can you tell us something your fans may not know about
Let me see. I kind of already mentioned this earlier, but I'm like a big book nerd. But one of my all-time favorite books ever and favorite movies ever is Harry Potter.
Nice. Okay.
And a lot of people are like, what the heck? But I have watched the Harry Potter movies so many times, and I have read through the book several times too. But I'm a huge Harry Potter nerd. And actually, whenever I went on tour in the UK, they have like a bunch of Harry Potter stores all around town. And then like some parts of Harry Potter were filmed in London. And so there was like this 7-hour tour. And I was like begging my mom, I was like, please, please can we go? And she's like, I'm not going to be waiting around for 7 hours for you to do that tour. But I finally convinced her to let me take me to one of the stores. So I was very, very happy about that.
So what's better, the movies or the books?
The books.
Yeah, good answer. That's the right answer. All right, next one's called Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore in real life has 4 people on it. Now, according to Payton Riley, who is on your Mount Rushmore of most influential artists to you? The 4 people that influenced you the most.
Miranda Lambert, Lainey Wilson, Avril Lavigne, and the last person. Trying to think of a guy that I can put up there. Probably Cody Johnson.
Ooh, Kojo, let's go. I just interviewed Jesse Robb the other day, who's that was a watershed moment for me. I've been wanting to chat with Jesse for a long time. Yeah, it was cool. All right, next one is called What the Heck. You already said what the heck out of turn, but that's all right. We'll get there. I'm gonna tentatively grab my pen if I can find it. Uh-oh. There it is. All right, can you give me 5 numbers, random numbers between 1 and 50?
Yes. Okay. 2, 13, 22, 44, and 49.
All right, you just picked your questions. Okay, so the way this works is this is rapid fire, and when I ask the question, just tell me the first thing that pops into your brain. Okay.
Okay.
All right, here we go. And if it's not a relevant question for your age, I will move it 1 up or down.
Okay.
All right, number 1, do you have your toilet paper over or under the roll?
Over.
Okay. Number 2, do pyromaniacs wear blazers?
What is a pyromaniac?
Pyromaniac is somebody that is addicted to setting fires.
Oh, dang.
The joke is completely lost on her. All right. Number 3, how long do you wait after finishing your food before going back for seconds?
Oh, immediately I go back for seconds.
Is that because you have a sister?
Oh, yes, 100%.
Of course. See, I could wait. I was an only child. I didn't have to worry about it. I took my time.
My family, we eat the food off the table like it's going to run away. Because,
Right?
Yeah, because my family, we could go through some food, so you got to eat it fast if you want to feel full.
That's the way it is here now. So we have a compound here of different outbuildings and stuff. And let me see here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people living in this compound. They're all related. Grandkids, kids, all of that. Yeah, food disappears quick now. As an only child, that's hard to get used to, Payton. Let me tell you what.
Dang.
Yep.
I bet.
Mm-hmm. All right,
That's
next one.
so hard. You're like not even like I just have to compete with 3 people, but competing with that many.
Right? Yeah. Anyway, next one. Which celebrity annoys you the most?
That's a really hard question.
Well, that means you have more than one, or you can't think of one.
What's his name? What's Kim Kardashian's ex-husband's name?
Is that Kanye West?
Yes.
I'm there
Yeah.
with you. I'm there with you. We'll call him Mr. Kardashian. How about that?
Mr. Kardashian, yeah.
All right, last one. Wow, these were all tame. You picked good numbers. What word do you have a hard time pronouncing?
Um, that's a good question. There's quite a few of them. Um,
This is not a setup at all, Peyton.
uh, I mean, I feel like sometimes I can talk really, really fast. So even like the simplest words I get caught up on. There is one that what is it that I cannot like say for the life of me. Um, what is it called? The I don't know. I probably wouldn't even be able to say it if I tried to say like to
That's
say.
that's the setup.
Oh, I do not know.
All right, we'll try a different number 5.
Okay.
How about what is your weirdest talent?
My weirdest talent. Um, whenever I was little, I used to be kind of good at yo-yoing.
Okay, like walking the dog and all that stuff.
Yep.
Crazy. All right, that's cool. So that's something else we learned about you today. That you used to be good at yo-yoing.
Yeah, I don't know if I could still do it. It'd probably be pretty bad if I tried it.
All right.
Um,
So next segment is called One Artist. Who is one artist that Peyton Riley wishes the whole world knew about? And you can't be yourself.
Probably Sundance Head.
I love that answer.
He's awesome. I got to meet him a couple months ago, and I would like to say we're buddies now. He remembers me every time he sees me, which is great. I love when like major in Texas, he's like kind of like a major artist. It's really cool whenever they remember me, so I get really excited about that. But I met him a couple months ago, and he's so talented. I've seen him perform like 2 or 3 times, and literally the whole entire time I watch him, my jaw is on the floor. Like he's
Same. Yeah, same. He is the perfect artist to mentor you when you decide whether or not to go back to American Idol. Remember that.
oh 100%.
He would be the best person to talk to about that, I would say, at least in our scene here in Texas.
Yeah.
Next one is called Wishlist. What is on your wish list of things you still want to do?
I mean, it's a pretty big list, but probably one of the ones that I have dreamed of, like that has been on there for like a super long time that I've dreamed of, is performing at the Grand Ole Opry. That's definitely a very, very big one for me. And then, I mean, this is kind of like crazy, but I would really, really like if like one of my songs went number 1 one day. But we'll see if that ever happens. But that's just kind of like my bucket list of things.
I love that. Those are 2 really good goals to have, and I think they're both attainable for you as well. So definitely good stuff. All right, next one is called Personal Best. This might be tough for you since you're so young. What do you think is your personal best accomplishment so far? And this does not have to be music related.
Okay. I mean, it's not really an accomplishment, but I work with foster kids, and like my family, whenever we were younger, we used to foster. We fostered like 3 kids, and that had a really, really big impact on my life. And as I got older, I really wanted to start like getting back into working in the foster care system, and so I go in there and I sing songs to the foster kids on the day of counseling, which is like their day of therapy. And it's a really hard day for them because they have to talk about a lot of their feelings and bring up a lot of things that they don't really want to talk about, like how their parents are unable to take care of them, or how their parents in jail, or how their parents don't want them. And so it's a really hard day for them, and a lot of them like they cry a lot. And so as I said, I think music moves people in so many amazing ways, and I've seen that just going in there and singing to them. I go in there and I sing Christian songs to them, and then they request for me to sing songs to them, and just to see their frown turn upside down has just been absolutely amazing. And for the organization that I work with, I wrote a song for them called Love Hills. It's on all streaming platforms, and I wrote that song to help raise awareness for foster care, and just with all the amazing people that are like that I work with, or just people that I know. They have been absolutely amazing and have shared that song and out to all everywhere on their social media pages, and it's just brought so much more.
What's the name of the organization?
Love Hills Youth, and the song is called Love Hills.
Okay.
And so just by writing that song, it's raised so much awareness for foster kids, and has helped so many more people like know about this organization, help them raise money to get the kids like things that they need, because they don't have like parents buying them stuff. Like churches have to go and buy them like the simplest things like shampoo and conditioner, and they barely have like any clothes or anything like that. They maybe have like 3 to 5 outfits. And so just by releasing that song, it's raised awareness and helped so many people contribute to this organization. So I'm just very blessed and happy to be and proud to be part of that organization.
If you could send us a link to the song itself, that will help people download the song and help with that. Just email that to me. I'll include it in the description.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate that answer. I meant to ask you about your charity work earlier, and yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Next one's called Moment of Gravity. So this one is pretty cool. I always struggle to ask it, but what was that moment of gravity, or it could be a person or a thing, a guitar, whatever, that kind of changed your outlook and made you want to do music? Like this is what you wanted to do. Can you remember what that was?
I mean, I feel like since I was young, I've always wanted to do this. So it's just been kind of like over time, it's been like more and more I want to do it, because like I had other things like occupying my time, like doing sports too. But as I gotten older, I stopped like doing that. And, I've done online school. So I feel like it's just more like when I got to that point where I was like, oh my gosh, I really, really, really want this. And
yeah, I know you're all in now, but what got you to all in? It was just over time?
I mean, I feel like that point was because I started off playing shows really, really young, and so I was like really awkward on stage. I wasn't really good at like interacting with the crowd or anything like that. But over the last couple of years, like probably around the time I was almost 14, that's when I started getting more comfortable and getting better at the guitar, where I didn't have to like stress out about like making sure I hit the right chords. And that's when I started like interacting with the crowd, and I just had so much fun. Like I wasn't constantly worrying about like the guitar and remembering all the words. But honestly, the people really, really make it for me. I love playing shows when people like interact with you and they ask you like questions and they request songs. So I feel like whenever people started doing that, that's when I was like, oh my gosh, like I absolutely love this, and I cannot imagine myself doing anything else. So it's definitely it's not like a specific moment, but it's when I started getting more comfortable and more like being myself up on stage.
I love that. When it became less of a job and more of just organic and natural. Yeah, I love that. That's good stuff. All right, last question of the interview. This will be the hardest one, perhaps, too. Who is Payton Riley?
So I am a singer-songwriter from Houston, Texas, but I am also somebody who has a very, very big heart and cares about a lot of people, and she loves to write songs that can help people get through any point in their life, whether it be a really, really hard time or a really, really great time. Um, I love just writing songs for all different types of people. And I love that I do so many different genres so I can reach so many more people. But yeah, I have a really, really big heart, and I have a lot of drive to do this, and I'm super excited for the future. And I'm just super excited for y'all to see all the new stuff that's coming up.
I love it. Yeah, Payton Riley is going places. That's why I wanted to chat with you. I've been a fan of yours for a really long time. I'm excited for all the things you're doing. You are an old soul, and I think that's why you're able to resonate with people, even though those people and listeners are typically a generation or more older than you. I love that you surround yourself with people that can help you with life perspective, and I think you're only going to grow and evolve because of those things. That's going to be huge in gaining more experience, not from a musical standpoint, but from a life standpoint, right? Because then it's going to be important to write from more of a self perspective, and I'm sure you know that. You know, I'm excited to have Payton on the show. PaytonRileyMusic.com is the webpage. I want to let you guys know that she has all of her shows on there. She plays all over the world, but mostly in Texas and mostly around the Houston area. So if you are a Houston listener, go check a show out with Payton. She does play in the Dallas area, New Braunfels, and really all over the place. So Payton Riley Music, you want to go check that out so you can keep up with where she's going to be. Basically, everywhere you are on social media, you're going to find her there at Payton Riley Music, the at Payton Riley Music, except her X, which is Payton R Music. Okay, just take out the Eiley, and you have her on X. Everywhere else, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, that's all Payton Riley Music. Did I leave anything out?
Oh no, that was perfect.
All right, great. So you guys make sure you're following the artist. We're going to put links in the description both to her webpage and to a download of Love Heals, so you guys can help Love Heals youth, which is very important to Payton. And you guys go there and read more about. We'll try to find a link to the actual organization too, so you guys can read about that. Payton, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, this is Jesse Robb Jr. Thanks for tuning in to the Boston Chris Show.